here at the Adidas Nations in Los Angeles, Jaron Blossomgame. Long week for you out here in LA. Started with a Nike Academy, now Adidas Nations. Not many guys doing that circuit. What was your thought process behind doing both?
I just want to get out here. It's a good opportunity to get out here and play in front of a bunch of NBA personnel and get an opportunity to play against some of the best players in the country. So, why not do both?
You had an impressive showing at the NBA Combine, also strong workouts, and surprised a few people by deciding to pull your name out. It seems like you were almost certainly going to get drafted, maybe even in the first round. Tell me about kind of your thought process, your decision-making behind deciding to pull your name out of the draft and go back to Clemson for another year.
Well, things happen in the draft. Players end up sliding, and I feel like it's not worth it leaving if I'm not quite certain where I'm going to end up in the draft. So I feel like I can only come back to school and improve and get better at certain things to only improve my draft stock for next year. So I think I made the right decision overall.
What kind of summer have you had since you pulled out of the draft? I'm sure you got a lot of feedback from NBA people on what they like about you and what they also want to see you improve on. How did that kind of lead into the summer that you just had?
Well, based off the feedback, I was trying to work out every day and get better at the things I need to get better at. It's like passing the ball, making plays to drive, scoring in transition, and obviously shooting the ball at a high level. But the summer's been pretty good for me between the Combine, Nike Skills Academy, and Adidas Nations.
You were a guy that wasn't the most highly touted coming into college. Part of that probably had to do with the injury that you suffered. Maybe you lost a little bit of exposure on the AAU circuit or whatever. But even before that, you weren't considered like a top 50 guy, and you've definitely exceeded your recruiting ranking as of right now, and you're probably going to do that even more so moving forward. What do you think has allowed you to kind of do that? Take me through your trajectory a little bit, your development as a player over the last few years.
Well, my leg injury really slowed down my development my freshman year at college and even my sophomore year. I really couldn't work out or anything. I had to take like 2 or 3 days off after one day of practice. It kind of limited me into what I could do, so I could just lift weights every day. But once I got fully healthy, I was in the gym, late hours of the night. I was coming to work every day to really get better. And with KJ leaving after my freshman year, I knew that was an opportunity for somebody to be able to produce at a high level next year. So I took advantage of that summer and really worked hard at it.
You guys had an interesting season at Clemson. You started off a little bit slow, and then you caught fire, and you beat a bunch of teams and got a lot of attention on the national scene, and then weren't kind of able to withstand that, and lost early on in the ACC tournament. Talk me through a little bit about what that was like. What you guys did well to get onto that hot streak, and what you need to do to sustain that next year.
Well, the way we ended the season was obviously frustrating. Being able to start the ACC, being 5-1 with our one loss at UNC. We really worked hard to get to that point, and we kind of lost focus. We kind of lost some games here and there that we shouldn't have lost, and kind of tumbled down after that. But with the guys we got returning next year and the transfers being eligible, I think that'll make a big difference for us. We have 3 guys coming in that can make an immediate impact. So I think the sky's the limit for this team next year that we have at Clemson.
What is your role going to be on the team, and how is it going to be different from last year?
I think I have more of a leadership role. I got going through that draft process. A lot of the guys look up to me, and they see how hard I work, and I lead by example. So guys want to come in and feed off of the energy I have every day, and I just want to be the best leader I can be.
Great stuff, man. Thank you so much.